Hi folks, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Payal and I am a traveler who also loves to meet people. And I think a blend of both is where this concept of melting pot has come about. In my Melting Pot series, I will be talking to lots of inspiring people from different parts of the world and also from different cultures, whom I meet during all my travels. The common factor between these folks will be the desire to follow their passion and make it a way of life. So step into this melting pot and enjoy the chats. So welcome back, my listeners from different parts of the world, for yet another exciting episode of Melting Pot. I'm really inspired to bring you stories from different cultures and also from different countries. Today's conversation is from Saigon with Chiara and Pascale. Both of them are co-founders of La Holista, which is a health and wellness company, obviously based in Saigon. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Chiara and Pascale, I'm going to leave it to both of you to talk about both your journeys. I know, Chiara, that you're from Venice in Italy.
That's correct, yes.
And what about you, Pascale?
I'm from the south of France.
South of France. Okay.
Yes.
Which part of the...
On the East Coast, between Nice and Marseille, a small city called Toulon.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So how did both of you end up in Saigon, from the south of France and from Venice? What kind of, what was your inspiration to actually move to another part of the world?
I would say it was university caravas. No, I actually studied Mandarin and English at university. So I moved to China when I was 22 years old to work with my languages. And after 7 years in China, I decided to change country, and Vietnam was an option. So I moved here in 2014 in the summer.
So what was your experience like in Shanghai? And okay, going back, you mentioned that you actually, while you were at university, you studied Mandarin. So what kind of, you could have studied any other language. Why Mandarin?
I was very fascinated with the Oriental culture in general. In Italy, there's a lot of textile and, fashion that is produced in China. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to find a good job. And I also was very fascinated with the Hanzi, with the characters and the language. So I just pursued that. My options were really either to study Spanish or Arabic or Chinese around my area, because in Venice we have very good universities for this. But the Mandarin University was actually one of the best. Only have 35 spots available. You need to test before entering. And I always thought I could pick up Spanish if I moved to Spain, because it's very similar to Italian. And I thought maybe Arabic. Don't do business much with women, so I thought maybe Chinese would be my best option to find a really good job and move abroad or travel around.
Oh, that's interesting. So how many years did you spend in Shanghai?
So I was there for a 4-month period to study, and it was a mandatory thing from school, and then I fell in love with it, and I moved back after 1 year, and I stayed there for almost 7 years.
Okay, so that's quite an extended time to be living in Shanghai. What about you, Pascale?
I actually moved to London in 2003. I moved to London to work in hospitality. I didn't have any experience, and I was trying in France to actually get in hospitality, but it's really hard when you're in France to actually do something that you haven't been trained for, you haven't got any university diploma for. So I was trying to change career. And after a year trying to make that happen in France, I realized that it would be really hard. And a friend of mine said, why don't you just go to London? It's pretty easy to find work over there. And that's what I did. I stayed there for 12 years. It worked really well for me. I had a great career in hotels. But at the end, like after 9 years, I started to feel the pain of all the commuting and working really, really long and social hours in hospitality, not seeing my friends, not really having a life. So after 9 years, I thought about, what am I going to do next? And to be fair, I didn't really have an idea. But on my 12th year in London, I actually decided to go to Thailand on a 3-week holiday, which is pretty amazing. Working in hospitality, getting 3 weeks, that was a big thing. Yeah. But I managed to negotiate to get a 3 weeks. I really need a 3-week holiday. I really needed to get out of there. And then when I was in Thailand, a friend of mine had just settled down here in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh, and he invited me over. He said, listen, just come and have a look. Originally, my idea was that I would fall in love with Thailand and I would actually find a way to get back there and then find a job or something. That didn't happen. I didn't have that feeling for Thailand. But then when I came here for 3 days in Ho Chi Minh, I really felt something for the place. Maybe the craziness, which is a bit similar to London in some ways, although very different culture and everything. But there was a buzz that I really, really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And my friend actually introduced me to his boss. And I was offered a job. And on my last day in Vietnam, I traveled back to London and I just sold everything and I came back here. And then I met Chiara actually when I was here for 3 days during my holiday. So I was vegan already, and I met her at the market and she was selling vegan products, which I was like, this is amazing. There's vegan stuff here that, in case I actually come back, which, I had in mind, and it turned out to be right. So I met her, took a business card, and when I came back, I started buying a lot of her products. And then one day we met and then we became friends. And then one day I had enough of what I was doing, and she said, you should actually partner up with me, and I think we could do some great stuff. And that's how everything happened, basically.
I fed her. I gave her energy balls, and that's how I conquer her heart. With food, and I got her. I stole her, and I got her as business partner since almost 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So is that when you founded Holistica?
La Holista was actually founded before.
Sorry, Holista. Sorry, yeah.
I founded the company in Hong Kong before I moved from Shanghai to here because I knew it would be easier to work from Hong Kong. But it was actually only a consulting company. I wasn't planning, and I was refusing to do any kind of food.
That worked out well.
And actually now I am doing food. I know what it is to have licenses and do everything well. And we are actually very big sustainers of like doing everything legally and having licenses and hygiene certifications and all this. And I didn't want to do it because I knew how hard it would be, but I do have a lot of experience in setting up companies in China. So when it was time to set up here in Vietnam, I knew already a little bit more than the common person on how to set up. So it wasn't that horrendous. It was like 50%.
It was your experience. Yeah. That's interesting. So before we talk about La Holista, I just obviously Saigon, as Pascale you mentioned, it's very, very vibrant, and you get like a rush when you're there because there's so much going on, other than the madness of the traffic and the people and all of that. What I've noticed about Saigon is that it seems to be a draw for a lot of expats to actually make it their home. So, I mean, is it something to do with the culture, or is it what do you think draws people to a place like Saigon?
I mean, personally, it's all about the vibe. I can't really explain because it's like a kinesthetic feeling. I felt that I was in the right place. I felt home, and so I can't really explain for other people. For me, it was really like something I felt in my guts, and I just felt, okay, this is home for me. It's totally different from France in some ways, but then you've got some French buildings, and you've got a bit of architecture that reminds you of home somehow. Saigon is not close to any of the places I know in France, but if you go to Dallas, for instance, you really get a French feel. I don't know. It was really, for me, everything works with my guts. And that's the way I felt about London and England and the UK in general is something that I felt in my gut. And that was the same feeling here, something that I didn't feel at all for Thailand, although beautiful country. And, there's a lot to do and see there, but it didn't feel right for me. So for other people, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing obviously the climate is something that attracts a lot of people. The fact that obviously it's an expanding economy and there are possibilities for people to find work here. But yeah, for me, that was a different story. I just fell for the place, totally fell for the place.
And what about you, Chiara? I know you said, you wanted from Shanghai, you wanted to move and try
Yes.
different, and then you ended up in Saigon. So, I mean, you could have gone to Thailand like Pascale, or you could have gone anywhere else. So why Vietnam? One in specific?
It wasn't really a choice, like a personal choice. It was an opportunity that came up, and I followed it. It felt right. But then when I did move here, I just felt this feeling that I had initially when I was in Shanghai early in 2005, when everything was possible and everybody was nice, and expats or immigrants, however you want to call them, they were welcome, and that was starting to change in China. There was a lot more regulations. It was a lot more harder to stay or even to enter. And Vietnam was just so welcoming, and people were so nice, are so nice, and smile to you all the time. And just generally speaking, the weather is better, the pollution is better, and all this mix of things is just, a pleasure for me to wake up every day and know that there is sun outside and I don't have to worry about rain. For me to wake up every day knowing that I just need a little summer dress to go to work and I can bike to work every day without huge problems. I just love that so much.
So you don't really miss the seasons. You don't miss.
Absolutely no, I do not. Have you been in Shanghai in winter?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
I do not miss the grayness and the sadness and the mess when it rains. And yeah, absolutely do not miss any of that. I truly enjoy the scootering around and the hot weather, having a pool in every condo or your friend's house. It's just absolutely amazing. And yeah, I did see a glimpse of this in Thailand, but it was just too much for me. Thailand, I did not enjoy that very much. And
I think Saigon is a very welcoming city, and that's the beauty, and which is what I guess a lot of people get attracted to. And it's easy in terms of it's relaxed. It's far more relaxed. I'm sure there are stresses when it comes to businesses and things like that, but in general. There's something I absolutely agree with you. There's that you feel a connection with the city. So let's talk about La Holista. I noticed, Chiara, that you're a yoga instructor.
yes.
Okay, so what was your thought process? And you were already selling products, right? Wellness products. So where
I
did
have
you?
certifications, then the yoga is probably the least.
Oh.
Yes. So I was working in a legal affair, an accounting and company, a consulting company in Shanghai. And my last year, my fifth year with the company, I was really not feeling well in the corporate environment. I had to, scheme and lie a lot and try to, work with the government, with the Italian and Chinese government. It was very bureaucratic. I did not enjoy that a lot at all, actually. So I tried to quit the job, but they gave me a lot more free time. So I had all this time, and I invested in myself by studying health coaching. So I studied for a year health coaching, and in the meanwhile, I also got into yoga. And then the moment I had my longest holiday, which was 5 weeks, I went to India to study Ashtanga yoga.
Uh-huh.
So after I received this certification, I quit my job. It was the 30th of October. It was a Wednesday. And on a Saturday, there was this new health food store that was opening in Shanghai. And I went to see the opening. Actually, somebody tricked me to go. And I said, we'll never wake up, because when I go out on Friday, we'll never wake up to go on it. And she's like, no, I promise you, we will go. And then obviously she stood me up. So I went by myself. And the owner ended up to being a health coach that I've been seeing for the whole year, because the health coaches tend to meet and eat together and discuss and make community. So I already knew the owner, and she asked me what I was up to, and I was like, nothing, I'm chilling. This is the first time I have some time off. And so she offered me a job immediately. She's like, we need somebody who knows about health and nutrition, and we also need somebody who does events and can manage, the company with us when we're not here. We really trust you. We've gone to know you. You also know about fitness. You've been, you started running, and you're a yoga teacher. So I did certification. I was working there for this company, and it was absolutely amazing. We had between 14 and 17 events a month with Lululemon, Adidas, and I also had my own running group that was sponsored by Nike. So it was really, really great. But I couldn't get away from the party lifestyle. All my friends were stripped from my old way of living, and it was just becoming too much. So when I got here, I started my company, and then in the last 2 years, I also studied functional medicine, which was a very intense course for exactly functional medicine, which is a way to treat the root cause of chronic disease, whether it's migraines or diabetes or PCOS or fatigue or all sorts of chronic disease that we can develop during our lifestyle due to toxicities or genetic modifications or lifestyle. So this was the certification I got last year, and it was very hard to study in English, and I'm very proud of myself for achieving such a high degree. And then I wanted also to study vegan nutritionism. So I got a diploma last year as well for this, to help people reach their, calcium and iron and all these meats that we think, is not possible to obtain with a vegan diet. So I just wanted to make sure that I had all the information to do that.
How to supplement, right? Whatever is lacking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan in supplement. There's only a supplement that we should take, but everybody should take, which is B12, because the soil is just depleted. But in general, you can, if you eat enough green vegetables and beans and organic soy, you can get all the iron and the calcium that you need. And during the studies, we learn how to calculate everything according to, body type, exercise levels, age, and, menstruation periods or not, menopause or not. So it was really, really beautiful to learn all these specific nutrition advices for veganism.
So how do you bring it into La Holista? So what exactly does La Holista do? I mean, I looked up. I looked it up.
It's a lot, yeah.
What don't we do?
Yeah. So which is why I'm saying that obviously whatever information there is out there is not enough. So I'd like to hear it from both of you.
So our slogan, what we have on the back of us in the office, it says we offer wholesome foods and drinks. So we have all this line of foods and drinks that goes from meals, snacks, treats, desserts and spreads, and so it can be an ice cream, a cake, or burgers, or falafel. We have hummus, cheese, breads that are gluten-free. We have yogurt as well, and this is one of the products. All these products I'm able to create because I am health coach, because I have studied functional medicine practitioner, especially the yogurt and anything else with probiotics or alive products, because it is dangerous to, play around with live bacteria. And also we do drinks. So we have organic kombucha that sells really well around restaurants and bars and beer places.
Sorry, I have a very quick question. So all of these products are, do you source them, or are they all products that you create?
We have a central kitchen where we produce everything fresh by order.
Okay, wow. Yeah.
We don't have a storefront, but we do have retailers from here to Hanoi including gyms and yoga studios and different places and restaurants. But we all produce by hand artisanally in our central kitchen by order. So if we receive an order from a big gym that wants, 50 packets of balls or 50 bottles of kombucha, we just receive the order, we make it fresh, we ship it.
You're listening to a fusion of stories recounted for the first time ever by some fascinating people from across the globe with me, Payo, on this very unique and special podcast series, Melting Pot.
So it's a fresh by order only kitchen, and then we do lunch delivery service every day. We have a different lunch from Monday to Friday. We deliver it either in BPA-free containers that are swapped every day. So we give a full one, we receive the one from the day before empty, or we use 100% bagasse and cassava bags. So we have 100% biodegradable packaging for the lunch. And then one of the favorite things that we do, I would say, the cooking classes and the hikes for me. So we have a small laboratory in the kitchen, or we go to people's places to do cooking classes to make them comfortable in eating new food and try new food. And especially when you try to quit something like dairy or eggs or meat or gluten, then it's much better if you know how to cook it for yourself, so that you don't have to spend a lot of money, or you don't have to go crazy listing all the ingredients, or maybe ending up being sick because of it. So we're big believers in education. Classes is a big thing. So we have actually one Saturday, and almost every 2 weeks or 3 weeks we have one. And then my favorite one is the hike. We take a bunch of crazy people like us. We wake up very early on Saturday. We meet at 7 a.m. We take a bus or two. We take a bunch of dogs. We provide the food, the snacks, the water, and we go somewhere and we go hiking the whole day. And then we're back by either 2 or 4 p.m., depending on the area, all sweaty, all dirty, all sleep in the bus, but so happy. And we just make new friends during the day and just have, an adventure and leave the city, breathe fresh air, which is really fun. And then
why my previous trip to Saigon, I couldn't meet up with both of you because I think you were going for a hike. If I'd known that, I thought it was just like a hike by yourselves, but if I had known that you were going to take a bunch of people, then I would have probably joined in as well to just experience it.
We're very lucky. It's a very popular thing. We keep the process slow as possible, and we always sell out. It's just a very popular thing to do, and we have travelers and people who live here alike, people with kids and people with dogs. We partner up with other companies, either running companies or dog training companies, and we do the event together so that we can take care of the whole group in the totality.
Wow, interesting. Yeah,
that's one of the activities. Yeah, and then we do after-school activities. We go to the international schools to do education about food as well, which is very important for us to educate the kids. And Pascale, she does.
I like to do documentary nights. That's also education, but that's more for adults. I found when I came here that people going out were actually just going out to pubs to get drunk. And that was the main activity. So coming from London, it was a bit of a cultural shock because I was going out a lot in London, but I wasn't going out to the pub. I was actually going out to events and to learn things. And, so culturally here is pretty poor, and I wanted to find a way to gather people and get the community around some interesting topics and get people to get a bit of a instruction, so to speak, like people watching TV or watching Netflix probably just watch things that are very easy on the eyes and on the brain, and I just wanted to find a way to actually get some of my messages across.
Okay, so stimulate. Stimulate. To stimulate.
Yeah, I mean, and having every time we do a documentary night, we actually have a conversation after the documentary with people who want to stay behind, and that's interesting. So, and it's a free activity. It's just for the fun of it for me. So it's not Chiara's thing. That's my thing. We also have a yearly holistic fair. which is an event where we gather the community around practitioners who are doing things for health, whether that's, food, chiropractor, yoga practitioners, meditation. And that's an event that we're going to have here in August this year. Because of the virus, we had to move it from March to August. So that's again a free event. Only vendors pay to get a table and to cover up costs.
That's limited only to people in Saigon, or anyone else can register?
Well, anyone can register. We actually have people who are registered in Bali who sell their products here and who want to participate. So as long as they actually meet our criteria, and that what they provide is actually good for overall health. And by that I mean people's health, but also the environment. Then we're happy to promote their products. So only vendors and our sponsors have a fee to pay, so that we can actually cover the cost for the venue and then the tents and the audiovisual equipment and everything. But visitors just come for free. So that's another way as well for people to actually find out about small businesses who are doing the right thing in Saigon, who might not have the exposure that they deserve. And that's something that we really, really enjoy doing every year. And we get some repeat businesses coming every year, but we also find new gems in Saigon, people that wouldn't get the opportunity really to be known and seen. So really, really value that exercise. And then Chiara is a coach. I'm a coach. That's another activity. But yeah, roughly that's what we do.
If you have 30 more minutes, we can tell you a little bit more.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can see that, and I can hear that, you do a hell of a lot of stuff, and there's only 24 hours in it.
Is everything. Holistic health is what you eat, who you see, who you spend time with, where you work, what you watch, what you hear, your whole community. Like, holistic health is not one thing. So we try to promote that. I'm always looking for new friends. That's why I do the hikes. I want friends that love to hike, and also I want friends that have dogs, because I love dogs. So we it's very important that I want people to collaborate. So I want to make my work day better. So I want to work with people that feel the same and have the same values. That's why we do the holistic fair. I just want to work with people with the same principles and the same goals for Saigon or Vietnam or whatever they are. So holistic health is just not food, it's everything, and we try to provide it for others as well as for us. That's why we are very happy to come to work every day. It's just a good environment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think if you believe in something, and if you can make it a part of life and you can also earn from it, I mean, that's the perfect combination, right? So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So is there anything else that, you'd like to share about, because, Melting Pot obviously will be heard the world over as a podcast. So, I mean, anything else that you'd like to share with the listeners? Maybe a few tips on Saigon, maybe a little something else that you'd like to mention about La Holista. You're more than welcome to do that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we're always interested in meeting people that are in industry and want to collaborate for anything, for new ideas or something that we are already doing. We will have this fair in August. We expect everybody to come and support, because we are working very hard to do it. But it actually will be a great event, and it's completely free, including 6 talks and 6 classes. And we're also working on a new project, which will be in November, which is the second Saigon Veg Fest, in collaboration with Son Tuan Chai. And we did it last year. We had more than 3,500 people coming for this Veg Fest, and it was absolutely incredible, because it was...
What fairs is that?
Vegan fair.
Vegan fest. Okay.
Yeah, vegan festival. And about 85 to 90% of the people that came were Vietnamese. Vietnamese locals on a Black Friday buying frenzy. It was an absolute dream to see all these Vietnamese. Yeah, it was a mayhem, but it was a dream to see all these Vietnamese trying to grab food and grab products and like be so excited about veganism and like just not leaving the space. They stayed the whole day, listen to every single talk, watch every single cooking, watch the movie at the end. They had hats, they had their own team. It was absolutely incredible. Everybody sold out so much. There was this company, Omina, how many tables they got? Five. They bought 5 tables to sell food, and I've never seen anybody, dishing out food so fast for such a long time. We weren't even open. We already had like 400 people inside. It was absolutely crazy. So we're doing another one in November, end of November, with the same people, the same location, and we expect at least 40% increase of participants. And we just want people to work with on this event, to join and get a table or be a sponsor. For us, it's our birthday. It's the best day ever. It's just so fun. We're stressed out until 5 minutes before it starts, but when it starts, it's just like friends coming in, and just to see like such a great result is just such a pleasure to put to know that we are behind this and in collaboration with Sunshine, to know that these people are there and they're going to have a great day. They're going to learn something. They're going to open their mind because of the work that we've done. So if anybody
thing to be proud of, I guess. Totally.
But it's a big community thing here, actually. We value those events because, as Chiara was saying, we've got all our friends coming on the day to see us, and it makes the whole thing and the whole work that we do worthwhile. And we're always looking for businesses who are actually on the same wavelength and looking either into maybe starting working in Vietnam or promoting their products or services in Vietnam. So we're always open to new opportunities to work with new people. So if anyone is interested, if they can reach out to us, that would be great. As I said, it really is a community work. It's not about making money and becoming a bigger company, but it's about doing the right thing. And if that can pay the bills, as you said, then that's great. But it really is about the values that we have and putting them out there and showing people that you can eat, you can be healthy. It's rather easy. And also we value supporting small businesses. So hopefully other people see the value in that as well.
Excellent. And maybe 3 tips on Saigon before we wind up this conversation. What are the 3 things that both of you really, really love about Saigon?
I'm just going to say something very quickly. Before you come here, watch a YouTube video about the streets in Saigon to see how the traffic is, so that you understand how you cross the street here. Because it requires a practice to cross the street.
Absolutely. It's like more than a practice, I think it's an art to be able to.
Well, you just have to just cross, basically. Don't even watch. They'll actually just do what they have to do on the street. I mean, drivers are really good at avoiding pedestrians. That's my tip.
For me, the best thing, the best value in Saigon, as it was in Shanghai, just leave this materialism behind and just try to adapt of a simpler life where things are not always working perfectly. They're not always not breaking, and things don't really get done in time. But in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? We've had a great result with the virus, and I'm very proud of this government. They've done incredible work. Other little things where you expect a street not to float in the middle of the afternoon, then it's a little bit too much to ask. So I'm very grateful for not having ever moved throughout the years into this consumerism society where it's still easy to live simple here, and you're not seen as, you're missing out because you're missing this Gucci bag, or you're missing the latest car, or this stuff that doesn't count. I'm really grateful for that about Saigon. It keeps you in a minimalist states. It keeps you, as long, yeah.
You can still be materialistic. I mean, when you see how much people pay for education here, it's insane. But if you look at things differently and you come from your world and decide to actually look at a different culture and learn from them, you can really change your view on life and what it really is about. Yeah, that's for sure.
So it basically keeps you real, and
Yes,
Yeah.
you can be both ways, but really, I mean, you'd expect someone who actually moves from the West to Southeast Asia to actually come with an open mind and the desire to actually change their lifestyle, not to live the same way than they were living back home. Although this is also possible, but yeah, it changes if you're open-minded, and if you look around and you want to learn about the way other cultures live, then you can really learn a lot and change your life quite drastically. Yeah.
And then, just be curious. Curious. If this is there's a place in the world, this is it. Be curious, ask around, collaborate, meet up, have ideas, go for it, try. It's a fantastic place for that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, both of you. I mean, I'm sure I have as well learned a lot. Saigon, no, because I know Saigon, but I've learned a lot about, La Holista and all that both of you stand for. And that's absolutely very inspiring, and keep doing what you're doing. And I'm sure it's going to go a long, long way. So thank you both, Chiara and Pascale, for this very, very riveting conversation.
Thank you for your time. Really appreciate
it. All right, then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I see Chiara and Pascale, women on a mission to bring about awareness on healthy and sustainable living. It's absolutely fascinating to hear them talk about how they totally believe and live that life themselves. Saigon, I am getting convinced, is an open growing city with such an amazing vibe that enables people to follow their dreams after talking to so many guests on Melting Pot who've actually made Saigon their home. Do continue listening to more and more stories on Melting Pot with me, Payal.